Thank you. I want to really thank you for everything you said at the beginning. It's all true, and I'm experiencing all of the...
And did you hear the uniqueness of the words? Wanting to catch your ear in a different way? Not same old, new in every moment, yes?
Yes. It's exactly where I am, knowing everything I desire comes.
Yes.
I've had a year of, the more contrast I've had, the more I've gone to my source. So it's been really interesting.
The more contrast you have, the more powerful your source is in your life. Because you're asking in a stronger way, so you're summoning in a stronger way, which means you might be having more negative emotion too if you're not up to speed with what you're asking for, but it's all good news anyway.
So that wasn't my question, but how do I stay up to speed? Because with these negative emotions that
well, by knowing that the negative emotion means you're not up to speed, and then doing whatever you can to find thoughts that cause the negative emotion to soften, which means change the subject sometimes. It might mean play with different people. It certainly means watch less television. It means rest more, meditate more, do the things that allow you to feel better.
That's what I've been doing the last 10 days, just sleeping and meditating.
Yeah.
First half of my question was co-creation in a family environment. We have kids and a husband involved, and how to follow the impulses you have when it's involving more people. Is that a limiting belief when I say, well, I need to do this thing?
Yes.
But there's kids and a husband involved where I don't have additional help. So how to balance that?
Well, here's the thing. You must know that your inner being knows what you're shooting for, what your desire is, and also knows where you are in relationship to it, and most important, knows your path of least resistance to get you there. So if you are taking the time to quiet your mind so that you're receiving the thoughts, then you'll find yourself zigzagging and moving around in a more efficient way than you ever have before. When you get all wrapped up in what's not working and you get focused upon that, so that's your strongest point of attraction, you literally rendezvous with the worst of the situations moment after moment after moment. It's attraction. We're going to say something really strong to you. What you receive from other people, you elicit. You summon it from them. It feels like they're doing it to you. It feels like they are asserting their negativity into your experience, their demands or their misunderstanding, but they're not. If you weren't vibrationally asking for it through your belief and expectation, you would not be getting it. Esther, in the beginning, once she started understanding a bit better law of attraction, something wonderful would happen. She would say, I did that. And then when something not so wonderful would happen, she would say, I did that too. I also did that. I did that. And once you accept that it is your doing, and that's not something you've been practicing. You've been practicing, they're doing it to me. I feel this way because of something that you did. When you believe that the reason that you feel this way is because of something that somebody else did, something that you can't control, the circumstances or the opinion or the whatever it is, then it gets worse and worse. But once you know that it is attraction, only attraction, only attraction, it is only attraction. It is only attraction. It's only attraction. We're going to look each one of you in the eye. It's only attraction. It's only attraction. It's going to take a while. It's only attraction. 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 Nobody's asserting anything into your experience. It feels like they are, because there they are saying that to you or behaving in that way. But there was something that took place before this moment of manifestation. What did you bring to the table when you showed up at this moment of conflict or this moment of overwhelmment or this moment of whatever it was that you don't want? What state of being were you in? What vibrationally did you bring to the table? Because you brought something to the table that caused that dynamic to take place, and you didn't have to do it. You could have pre-paved it better. You could have been making lists of positive aspects. You could have been basking in the perfection of your own life. You could have been meditating. You could have been tapped in with source energy. You could be knowing the brilliance of everything that's going on around you. You could have been in a different place, and you would have had a different relationship in that moment. And once you know that, then you're free. It's what we call unconditional love, or unconditional life, or unconditional living, where you're not having knee-jerk reactions to the conditions that surround you. You're setting your tone. You're tuning in with source energy. You're tuning in with everything that's in your vibrational reality, everything that's in your vortex. You're tuning to that. And then the very compliant and responsive universe is responding to you. So much so that someone in a different mood cannot even make their way into your space. Doesn't matter how small your space is, they'll zig while you zag. If you're tuned in, tapped in, if you are in a state of love, if you are in a state of wonder and amazement at the perfection of your life, and they are in a no good, rotten, very bad mood, we're exaggerating. No, not really. You're zigging while they zagging, and they're zigging while you're zagging, and you're just not seeing that much of each other. But when something happens and they're focused in a more positive way, and for them it may be more accidental, more by default, where with you it may be more deliberate, but it happens to them. It happens to everybody in one way or another, unless they are really in dire circumstances. And then you'll rendezvous at the vibrational equivalency of who you all really are, and then you'll have that knowing moment where life is wonderful, and where you are soothed, and where you are attracting the best from each other. That's what being in love is. You're looking at them, they're looking at you. You're looking for positive aspects, and so are they. You're finding them, and so are they. So you're in agreement with your own inner beings. Being in love is when you're in agreement with your own inner beings and you're together with someone. That's what being in love is. Being in love and being in alignment are the same thing. We know you heard it. It's the best we've ever said it. Yeah. Something more?
And second part is a little bit to do with children.
Yes. They're easier because they're readier to come into sync with who they really are. And do you ever see them looking at you with that odd way, like, what's wrong with you? Well, that's why. That's why, because they're tuning in, they're feeling great, and you're not, and they don't know what to do with you.
Well, I call my children my teachers.
Yes,
so I always tell
are.
them I have nothing to give you, as just so I can try to raise my vibration.
Everyone has so much to give each other. When two or more come together in vibrational alignment with source energy, there's a synergy that happens that is awe-inspiring. That's when you get down to the business that you were born to live here. Yeah.
So I will rephrase that. I tell them I have a lot to learn from you, because you're more pure, or your limiting beliefs might be a bit less.
Here's a better way to say that. Don't make them arrogant. Here's a better way to say that. You have the good fortune of being children with a mother who is trying to remember what you still remember. There are a lot of mothers who aren't even trying to remember. They think that what they've come to know is more important than what you know coming right in. And so I'm going to watch you, and you're going to help me return to that, but I'm still smarter about traffic and things like that.
Yes. So that was my question, to find the balance there.
Yeah. Anytime you are for any reason diminishing yourself, your inner being's not there with you. Even when you're trying to compliment someone about how wise they are by acknowledging how not wise you are, your inner being is not joining you in that thought. Your inner being will join you in the thought of their wisdom, and your inner being will join you in the thought of your appreciation of how wise they are, and your inner being will join you in your determination to return to that on a steady basis on your own. You see? Can you feel the difference?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very clearly.
Yeah.
And the question there was schooling. So they're in the school system. I try to find a balance of what their experience that they're still choosing to take there. And always this thing.
Well, here's the thing. They're going to, in life and it usually starts in school, they're going to bump up against a lot of people with a lot of different philosophies, a lot of different beliefs. And it's a wonderful opportunity for them to discover their own balance of their own guidance system. So if at home they have the benefit of someone who is also wanting to find your balance in your own guidance system, so you don't fake it and you don't pretend that you're in balance when you're not. You're real about it. And so when you feel some negative emotion, you say to them, I'm feeling some negative emotion, which means I'm working against my own desires on something. So if you'll excuse me for a little while, I'm going to go and see if I can quiet my mind or make a list of positive aspects. And when I get back in alignment with who I really am, I'll be back. And then go, and don't come back until you're in alignment. And give them the first-hand experience of seeing mother out of alignment, mother in alignment. And then they'll be at school and they'll see teacher out of alignment.
Yes.
And teacher out of alignment.
Yes.
And teacher out of alignment.
Exactly.
And teacher out of alignment.
Yes.
And then you'll help them to understand also, because you'll let them know that it's not their job to get you in alignment, and it's not your job to get them in alignment. In other words, you're going to help them to know that this is a personal relationship that you have with your own source energy. And so don't ask your teacher to be different than she or he is. Just you get in alignment, so it doesn't matter. Teach them about their emotional shock absorbers. In other words, you get tuned in, tapped in, turned on, and you see someone who's not in alignment. You don't feel threatened by it or insecure by it. You're sure of who you are. And the only thing that will ever make you feel bad is not being sure of who you are. And just because a teacher misunderstands you and doesn't know who you are, doesn't mean that you then have to question who you are. They'll get so stable, they'll be so sure of who they are. There'll be bright lights in that school system. The teachers will be saying, hey, what do you know that I don't know? And they'll say, life's supposed to be fun. You need to chill out.
So that was my question more. I have a 17-year-old who, because of all this experience, she stayed in the system. I never told her she has to leave. Decided in December this year, Mom, I'm out. I'm not going to finish high school. I'm going to do online. So she stepped out because it was like, so the other two smaller ones, like, can we also leave? And they're like 15 and 13. So for me, she's setting a path where, so wait.
Here's the thing, and we would say this to her. Is she really out? Can she get back in?
In her head, she's too much out.
Either way, it's all right. This is what we want you to think about and to know. And maybe you can know it so well that you'll catch them at an open time and they can hear it too. But here is something that is law-based and therefore for sure. So you're having an experience, let's say, and it's uncomfortable enough because of your observation of what's going on, that you've practiced not being in alignment more than being in alignment. And so since you want to feel good, you come to the conclusion that you should just go somewhere where you feel better. This receptive mode that we're talking about, when you are in the vibrational place where you can receive from your inner being never says run from where you are, because your inner being knows it's about attraction. So when you have the impulse to run from where you are, you got to know you're not in this receiving mode. You're receiving from someplace else, the stream of consciousness of man's worrisome thoughts or something. And so you'll hear more as we're moving through in hours that follow, but we're just going to give you the basics of it here. If you leave any situation, school, a job, a relationship, doesn't matter what it is, because it feels negative where you are, you're going to take your point of attraction everywhere you go, and every place will be the same way for you because it's your practiced vibration. So here's what we really want you to hear. We're not saying that the best thing for her is to stay in the school system, but we are saying if she leaves from the vantage point of negative emotion, she won't find it better anywhere. But if she can figure out how to come from the standpoint of being tuned in, tapped in, turned on, even while she's there, and in that receiving mode, she gets the impulse to go someplace else, then she will thrive wherever she goes. So that's the question that you want to ask yourself. From which receiving mode is this 17-year-old making her decision to leave?
she started to listen to you a lot. So I'm not sure if that was a decision-making thing, but that's kind of what started.
Well, just play with her about this a little bit and let her hear this too, because sometimes people will describe a situation that it sounds awful, and they will say, do you think I should leave? And sometimes we say yes, but always we say, just remember, you'll be taking yourself with you. And if you're unhappy in this school system because there are things you don't like there, and you are not yet able to tune around them, then you better get out of town too, because there's plenty of stuff in town too that you don't like. And then you better get out of this country and off this planet, and now we don't know where to send you, because in every particle of the universe there are things that you don't want. It's attraction. Tune yourself to what you do want. Don't keep running to a new place thinking that you're going to find a place that has only what you want. There's no place that's going to have only what you want. Every place is going to have some of all of it, because diversity is the name of the game here. And so you want to become a better tuner, not a runner to another place.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Just sit right there. So we're going to have a really good time. Be easy about all of this. Have lots of fun. Get lots of sleep. Be really nice to yourselves. And anybody else you feel like being nice to. Mostly nice to yourselves. There's no homework. You're going to want to talk to each other about this, but it would really be better for you if you just be playful. You might meet others on the ship who have no idea what this is. Don't tell them. Don't tell them, because you'll just frustrate them because they can't come in and hear, and just let them have their own reality and love the reality that they're having, whatever it is, and don't try to change it. We are eager about this time together. There is great love here for you. And for now, we are complete. I love you guys. We're going to have a wonderful time. Bye.